So I was listening to Charles Barkley, and I was listening to him say his favorite teams that he's looking to, and what teams actually have legitimate championship aspirations, and what teams, of course, can separate themselves from the pack so far. And he said he's very disappointed in the Western Conference, and I see where he's coming from. He straight up said Clippers and Lakers, that's it. But, he's disappointed with teams like the Nuggets. I mean, the Nuggets are 6-7 right now. Of course, it's early, but it's not that early because we need to remember this season is shortened. 10 games is 10 games. 82 down to 72. 10 games is 10 games. And the way this COVID stuff is going, you think you're in the driver's seat, and then all of a sudden you lose C.J. McCollum to a broken foot or a hairline fracture on the foot. So, speaking of which, I had C.J. McCollum and in my fantasy, and it's not looking good. So, I have 3 injured players right now. John Wall, C.J. McCollum, and Alec Burks. But Alex Burks, I picked him up because he only played 3 games this year, and he averaged 21. He had 20, and 22 in all 3, so that's why I picked him up, and then he gets hurt. And, the Knicks, I was watching some Knicks commentators, and they're like, he's the best guy. But enough with the Knicks, enough with the East. We're talking about the West and what Charles Barkley said. And he said he's disappointed because of teams like the Nuggets. And this is it's because it's early, obviously, there's a huge log jam. But, I mean, literally, the 4 seed, and if you want to throw in the Pelicans, fine, but I was going to say the Nuggets, but the 4 through 12 seed, and this is very reminiscent of a couple years ago when there was a playoff run. It's 2 years ago. The 4 through 12 seed is separated by 2 games, so the Suns have 5 losses, the Suns at the 4 seed have 5 losses, and the Nuggets at the 7 seed have 7 losses. So, in 1 week, the Pelicans could be at the 4 seed, not the 12. But he's right. And I think Charles is disappointed with the Rockets. But right now I'm disappointed with the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers are 7-0 at home. I mean, on the road. And they're 4-4. At home. Did something happen? I don't know. But it was just a very weird game. And it is one thing, to say home doesn't really matter. There's no fans. 6 of the 30 teams have fans, minimal fans. Which I do want to get into later. But, I don't know, man. I don't know. If you're a road team, you're still not sleeping in your own bed. You're listening to the fan audience. I mean, the defense stuff and the music stuff, which doesn't faze them, but you're in a different flow. You're in a different mode. You're in a different area. And we're 7-0 on the road, and we're going on 7-game road trips. So that better be 14-0 if we're going to keep up this crap, where we like to show up on the road. So we lost 1 game. I don't think last year we ever lost 2 games in a row. I think it might have happened once, actually. But at the end of this game, after the game, Anthony Davis was stressing. We cannot lose back-to-back games. We cannot. And he's right, and they can't. And they're playing a really tough Milwaukee Bucks team who has the best record in the second best record in the Eastern Conference. Before the loss to the Nets tonight, when the Bucks played the James Harden Nets, the Bucks were the best record before the loss. So you're going up against, man. And I watch, and this is what's nice about MLK Day, is there's a lot of really good action. It's like, mini Christmas, I'd say, where there was 10 games today, but the matchups were really cool, and they're really different, too. I thought the Nets and Bucks was really fun to watch. And of course, when this was scheduled, how would they have known that James Harden would be there? And how would they have known that Kyrie would have been out? Because you're seeing James Harden be Houston Rockets James Harden right now in the Nets, and it's hilarious. He just hijacked the whole roster. But at the same time, it's very important to remember, and this was an under-the-radar signing by the Nets. Steve Nash got his old coach Mike D'Antoni to help him out, right? Mike D'Antoni just finished coaching James Harden for, 3, 4, 5 years? And bam, Mike D'Antoni gets James Harden a month and a half after or 3 months after they exit the playoffs, and Mike D'Antoni says goodbye. So I'm curious to see if Mike D'Antoni is saying, let's give James Harden the keys, or Steve Nash, or whatever it is. Maybe Kevin Durant said he's my best friend. I don't care. But, and I'm losing my train of thought. I'm kind of going on a little bit of tangents. But what I was saying was the Lakers are playing the Bucks, and they cannot lose back to back. We have a 7-game road trip coming up. Not coming up. I mean, it's happening, and we better keep that same mentality, because tonight's game was the dumbest game I've ever seen in a very long time. So, I mean, this road trip, there's not a lot of teams that are very difficult. There's like a handful that are tough, but of the tough teams, there are contingencies there. So the Bucks and the Lakers, it's Thursday, it's on TNT, primetime, 4 o'clock. I'm calling a W there, a hard W, because it's one thing for the Lakers to come off a loss, but it's another to come off a loss like that. And that was tough. That was really tough. And I'm obviously going to get into that game, but I want to talk about the schedule. I need to remember the fan thing. I'm really upset at myself I don't remember this fan thing I wanted to talk about. But, that's W versus the Bucks on Thursday. Then Saturday, we play the Bulls. The Bulls are not very good. However, they have some really good talent. And, there's the basic Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen. But Kobe White has been kicking some ass. Kobe White has been low-key. I'm not saying Kobe White is most improved, but let me tell you something. Well, because that's probably Christian Wood. But Kobe White can ball. And then you also got Garrett Temple, who everybody may be like, who the hell cares about Garrett Temple? But for some reason, Garrett Temple is having a really good year this year. And I don't know why. And I know this because of fantasy. But I don't know, is something changed? Garrett Temple's on the Nets. He's on a bunch of teams. Garrett Temple is on Who He Play For, that Charles Barkley show. And so I think that's a win versus the Bulls on Saturday. And then we go to Monday, the 25th. So far, no back-to-backs, which is nice. Play the Cavs, all right? I don't think this is a trap game, but I do think we are lucky because there are injuries as of now. Monday is, of course, a week from now. But Garland, Sexton, a couple other Cavs players are hurt. But I think this is a game we should win. So far, I'm saying we're 3-0. I'm going to be I'm going to go subjectively through it and objectively. Right now, we're going to go objectively 3-0. 76ers, Sixers, Lakers. This is very contingent. And we are very lucky that this is not a back-to-back. So, the Cavs. 2 days later, the Sixers. And the Sixers have had tons of COVID problems the past few weeks. So it's really wrong to say this, get quote-unquote lucky. I don't mean it like that. There could be some circumstances where the Lakers play a team that doesn't have the full 76ers roster. However, if they do play the full squad, objectively, I think they will lose this game. But you gotta... It's all about matchups, right? It's going to be tough to guard Ben Simmons. And the only guy that can guard Ben Simmons is probably LeBron. And AD could too. But AD's me on Joel. But I don't think LeBron wants to guard Ben Simmons for 40 minutes, 35 minutes. No. So, tough matchup there. But I do think that, unfortunately, we'll lose that one objectively. Subjectively, we'll come back to that. And then we got the Pistons on Thursday. This is the back-to-back. It was 76ers, Pistons. 76ers, Pistons. Philadelphia, Detroit. An hour flight. Pistons are not good. They're the worst team probably in the league. Not by record right now. They're like, I want to say the second worst in the East. Let's see. No, they're the worst in the East. They're 3-10. No, they are the... They have the worst record in the league right now. The Wolves are 15 seed at 3-9. How are the Timberwolves 3-9? Oh yeah, Karl Anthony Towns wasn't playing. My fault. But yeah, the Pistons are 3-10, worst. And then we got the Celtics, and this game is gonna be really interesting. Not only because of the matchup, but Kemba had played his first game back a day or two ago. And he did not look that great. But what happens, right? So this is like a week and a half from now. This is the second to last road trip game of the 7-game road trip. And if Kemba is going to be playing 35 minutes a game, that lineup is going to be completely jumbled. And I don't know if Jaylen Brown's going to be the same Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown has some COVID issues too. So we're really getting lucky. We haven't had any COVID issues that we're aware of. Caruso had a safety protocol thing, but I think he said he tested negative, but I think he was around someone. Who knows? The point is we're lucky, and the Celtics have not been lucky. But that is a very contingent matchup. What's crazy, and this is so true with fantasy, is injuries and COVID have never... You don't know who you're going to see. Because the Sixers, or maybe it was a different team. Maybe it was a Thunder. Today, some team is saying they have 6 players to get suited up for a game coming up. And it's like, okay. And then they're voting to have a third G League two-way player spot, which should be interesting for the future. But that makes sense, right, for COVID. Because if you have 3 two-way spots, you meet the 8-player minimum criteria. I think you need 8 players to play in a game, or else you have to forfeit. But if you start in like 5, you get 3, there you go, 8. But yeah, I just think we can beat the Celtics. I think we can do it. It's gonna be tough. I know it is, but I think this is a win. And then we play the Hawks. That's a win. So objectively, I think we go 6-1. Subjectively, I think we go 7-0. Because if we're really going to hang our hat on this road crap, and I think we had last season, in the actual season, where there was fans up until March, I think we had the best road record in the league. I mean, we have what it takes, all right, to go 14-0 on the road. But after this road trip, let me tell you something. Because you have to keep in mind, it's 36 games at home, 36 on the road. So you just took 7 games out of there, plus the other 7. So it's 14 games gone on the road of the 36. So you have 22 road games after this of 50, whatever. So no, it's I don't know. The point is we're getting a lot of road games out of the way, and the first half of the schedule, after this 7-game road trip, we don't have another long road trip. The longest we have is 2 teams in a row on the road on Valentine's Day, and then on Valentine's Day and the 16th, Nuggets and the Wolves, and that's it. We had a 1 road game and then we come home. 1 road game and come home. The circumstances. But yeah, so if we're going to be here saying all this stuff, we're a bunch of legends and all that, and we literally, I'm not even exaggerating, 98% of this game, we were in the lead. That's the worst way to lose, when you lose in the final minute. And I've seen the Lakers lose games like that, but that's when the Lakers were, the 2014 to 2019, the Kobe Achilles through the year before AD came, I've seen us I've seen us do that all the time. Or we have a lead throughout the game, and then we let them come back and let them hang around, and then they just, they kick our ass. But this was different, and this felt different too. There was a lot of things in this game that really helped bounced our way. A few of them is James Wiseman got 5 fouls in the third quarter. He's okay. He's fine. But that's a guy that is there defensively, protect the rim. And, of course, Clay wasn't playing, which helps. But more importantly, and this is very important, the Warriors were making their runs when Steph and Dre were out of the game. All right? I mean, they were leaning on Evan Pascal, Kelly Oubre, a guy who's probably 6th on the depth chart. And when he was on the Wizards, and when he was on the Suns, he's probably 5th, 6th, or 7th, or 8th. On the Wizards, he's probably 4th because the Wizards only have one guy because Wall was hurt all the time. But you're letting Kelly Oubre drop 22 points on you guys. I mean, this is ridiculous. Kelly Oubre had 23 points, shot 9 for 18 from the field. That should never, ever, ever happen. And the thing that pissed me off is with 2.5 minutes left, Kelly Oubre drove. It was like a practice drill in the beginning of the games when they do layup lines. This guy drove straight into the paint with a minute and a half left and just laid it in, put his head down. I don't know how putting your head down means Anthony Davis jumps away from Kelly Oubre to block it, but that was insane. And it's not like he was great at the line. He was 3 for 4. But make him earn it from the line. 4 free throws, 2 trips to the line is not enough, okay? Not enough. You got to get into someone. When there's a guy that's playing really well that usually doesn't play well at all, you got to get in his ass. And I'm looking at the stats right now, and everybody, what's it called? Everybody on the starting lineup for the Warriors was negative except for Kelly Oubre, and the whole bench was positive, all right? This whole bench, Looney, Bazemore, Damian Lee, Jordan, Eric Pascal, and Wanamaker. I almost said Jordan Poole. Forget Jordan Poole. Wanamaker, those 5. One more time. Brad Wanamaker, former Celtic. Eric Pascal, Kent Bazemore, overrated as F. Kevin Looney and Damian Lee were the ones that were bringing the Warriors back. And even if you say those 5 guys may have brought them back, but then the lead went up again for the Lakers and they brought them back, who cares? Those guys helped the Warriors hang around. And just hang. Had the lead go from down 15 to 9, down to 7, back to 8, back to 6, down to 4. And the next thing you know, Steph Curry. And this game pissed me off. I don't want to talk too much about the game itself because it just was so upsetting. The announcing pissed me off. I hate Reggie Miller with a passion. Just obsessing over the stupid 3 thing with Steph Curry and him. Steph is going to pass him soon on the 3-point list. I don't care. But just, I don't care. So, yeah, the game, it just, this is one of those games where you literally have to just watch game film on, I want to say, when Stephen Curry and Draymond Green were not in. Because I guess we took the foot off the gas or something. I don't know. It's just strange. I mean, I'm literally looking at the lead tracker. Those trackers that you see on ESPN and NBA.com and all these places that show you the ups and downs of where the game went and at what point in X period did the score fluctuate. And on ESPN, there's a win chance probability, right? So, let's just say the Patriots go up by 21 points in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left. The win probability is probably 90%, something really high, right? I'm sure the Lakers, if there was one on NBA.com, would have been super fucking high. Sorry, I usually don't say the F word. I'm just really upset. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing right now. And you obviously are not looking at what I'm looking at right now. But let me tell you something. This lead tracker is all purple. And at the end, there's a glimpse, a little sliver of yellow. And that yellow is the Warriors' yellow. And that sliver is at the fourth quarter with, 2 minutes left. This little, block thing. And this is going to be on the screen probably for the whole entire frickin' podcast. Just to show you how upset I am. From 1 minute, when it was 0-0, the first minute of the game, to 2.5 minutes in the fourth quarter, we had the lead. I don't know what to say about when the Lakers do stuff like this. That is the lead tracker thing. I'm going to do the stats real fast. I'm trying to do the stats as much as I can for you guys, but Wiggins, but I don't really want to for these type of games, but there won't be. The point is this is KB24 status. We're going to do stats. But there's stuff like this. When we just don't perform and we just play when we want to and we're just going to chuck up shots, I don't want to read the stats of the other team and glorify them. So I'm going to run through their stats. Wiggins, Andrew Wiggins, 31 minutes, 7 of 11 from the field, 18 points, 3 rebounds. Draymond Green. I have Draymond Green on fantasy. He missed the first few weeks, I think maybe because of COVID, but he had an injury. But he has not been playing well. And then all of a sudden, the last few games, he's been pretty good. And he probably had his best game of the season tonight. There were several. This is what pissed me off, too. There were several players on the Warriors where for sure, and even Steph Curry acknowledged it and said certain players the best games of the season so far. There's been 15 games or so, okay? What are the odds that 2 or 3 of them were the best games of the season? Kelly Oubre, for sure, the best game of his season so far with the Warriors. He had 23 points. Andrew Wiggins, I don't think he had the best game, but he played really well. Another guy had the best game I was talking about was Draymond Green, right? Draymond Green literally almost had a triple-double. 7 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 1 steal. He was awesome. The end when he traveled. There was a lot of, issues with the refs, too. I don't usually complain about the refs unless they're Scott Foster. But Draymond Green only took 6 shots, and he made 3. And one of those was in, the final 30 seconds. One of those in, the final minute or two, Draymond made a layup to take the lead. They went up by, 1 or 2. The next time, Draymond Green for sure traveled, and the refs didn't call it. And there was this huge double standard where, literally with a minute left in the game, they call a travel on LeBron at, the wing, because LeBron totally shuffled his feet, right? And, literally 5 times, I need to stop saying literally, 5 times in the game, you could have called LeBron for a travel. And 4 of the 5 didn't happen. But the one that did was, of course, right then and there with a minute left in the fourth. And then a more blatant travel by Draymond Green they don't call. What was that? And another ref issue I had was there were so many technical fouls this game. There must have been at least 4 or 5 or 6. And I'm 3 or 4 or 5 different people. Dre got one. I think Caruso had one. Vogel had one. Someone else had one, I think. And Marcus Sol. Marcus Sol had a technical foul. When is the last time, I'm sorry, that anybody has seen Marcus Sol get a technical foul? Because I haven't seen one in a while. Kelly Oubre got a technical foul as well. So a lot of dudes got technicals. So Draymond played really well. Oubre played really well. That ref thing of you're going to call tentacles on him, but not them. But, these guys played so well. But at the same time, it's like, let's just maybe help the Warriors more than we help the Lakers. I don't know. I don't know what's going through the ref's mind. But those situations... Oh, and here's another one. Dennis Schroeder got, leveled by... I think it was Wiggins. And he was lying down on the ground for 10 seconds. And then Vogel freaked out. And Vogel got a technical because there's no offensive foul. And it did look like there was somewhat of a flop. But there was an arm motion. If you extend your arm all the way out, more than likely you're going to get an offensive foul. If you literally just arm bar someone and stiff arm them and push them down, right? But if you halfway do it, sometimes it's reputation. Sometimes it obviously is the play. But if you're James Harden, you do a half arm bar and it's really fast, you're going to probably get the benefit of the doubt if you're James Harden. But Andrew Wiggins is not one of those guys. And then, a couple plays later, Dennis Schroeder's driving in the lane, and, he kind of, slaps Wiggins' arm away. But, it was, super casual, and it was super minimal. And they called an offensive foul. And Dennis Schroeder was laughing the whole time. And he had every right to laugh the whole time. Because, god dang it, these refs, man. These refs doing us like that. All right. The Lakers did not lose this game because of the refs. But they lost this game because they're idiots. And LeBron was so mad at the end of the game, too. And it's LeBron, you are just as responsible. And LeBron and AD shot terribly. But I'll get to the last warrior before I talk to LeBron about LeBron and AD. So Steph, 8 for 22, 3 for 12, and 3 for 26 points. Kelly Oubre, 23 points. I talked about James Wiseman had the worst plus-minus at minus 19, 4 points. Only significant people on the bench are really just Pascal. I'm sorry, not Pascal. He only had 1 point. No, I'm sorry. Yes, Pascal. He had 19 points. The 1 point was the plus-minus. He was a +1. Eric Pascal, 19 points, played super well. He was 8 for 11 from the field, 72%. But yeah, man, what a strength. And what I liked about the Warriors? They got a lot of good players, man. This whole light years thing with the owner, if everybody was healthy, of course, they would be light years ahead. But right now, they have some really good guys. And we usually play the Warriors 4 times, but I have a feeling it's going to be 3. So the next 2 times should be really interesting. Of course, we want to get payback. But I'm just looking at the roster, man, and you got some really good dudes. Curry, of course, Draymond Green. But these role players, Wiggins is fine. Oubre, if he plays like this, is going to be fine. But Wiseman did have 5 fouls, and he only played 12 minutes. But he was, decent. And you got to keep this in mind when you're watching rookies. This is the worst they're ever going to be in their career, right? So the first game, you have a guy, right? And he gets, 25 and 12. It's that guy's 18 years old, 19 years old. That's the worst he's ever going to... Not the game, but that's the worst to ever be in his career in terms of, where he's at in his shooting, this, that, and he's dropping 25. Yeah. So Wiseman only 12 minutes. He got huge foul trouble. Only 4 points. Worst plus-minus, 1 block, 1 steal, 3 rounds. But when we play the Warriors next time, James Wiseman will be good, all right? He'll be better, obviously. But that's another guy I like. Looney used to be... the thing about all these role players is that some of them, used to be not really good, but they used to have, really good moments and, flashes. And Looney, I remember Looney was... You see, really, really good. Really good. And I don't know what happened. But I like Bazemore used to be good, too. He's overrated. But he used to have, moments. And when you have players on a team where you got a guy that's had a few games in his past few years where he's had 30 or 40 or 25, and he usually averages, 6, it's you got to keep your eye on that guy. And one of those guys this game was like, Oubre and Paschal having 19 points and Oubre having 23 points. So I really like the bench, and I can't wait to play them again. And can you only imagine if they had Klay Thompson? It would be absolutely absurd. Like, it truly would be. But and then you gotta keep in mind too, like Draymond's coming off an injury. There's so many moving parts with this Warriors squad, and they're really interesting. Like you gotta give the Warriors credit, man. Their GM, I forgot his name. Really, did a really good job with this roster. Okay. Now, the Lakers, the team that apparently has the best record in the league, but apparently does not know how to hold on to a lead after 47 minutes. LeBron and AD, identical numbers on several aspects. Both played 37 minutes. Both shot 6 for 16 from the field for 37%. Inexcusable. 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 One more time. Inexcusable. How dare LeBron storm off the court, all mad, raising his jersey or whatever he did, like this was the Heat or the Cavs in 2011, like it's his teammates' fault. And how dare he freak out at KCP with a minute or two left because he didn't take a shot. It's like, yo, you are one of the most unselfish people in this league, and KCP's just trying to be unselfish, and you're getting mad at him when you're like 2 for 7 from 3 and you're yelling at KCP to shoot a 3. And keep in mind, KCP wasn't that hot. KCP only had 4 points in the game. You only took 3 shots when you're yelling at a guy, and you took 16 shots. Jesus Christ. But yeah, AD 6-16, LeBron 6-16. 19 points for LeBron, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. AD, 17 points, 7 assists, 17 rebounds. Almost a triple-double. A really sexy triple-double. 17. Can you imagine 17, 17, and 10? Ooh. 2 steals, 3 blocks for AD. Great job. Marc Gasol, 2 for 5. Played pretty well. In the minutes he was in, he was pretty disruptive, I noticed. 5 points. KCP, 1 for 3, 4 points. Dennis Schroeder. Man, Dennis Schroeder, you got to get Dennis Schroeder, like, that extension right now, because it's just very obvious. When you have a guy that can easily get layups and easily draw fouls and just really take control and find open guys, you got to extend that guy. You got to hold on to that guy. But when that guy, on any given night, is the 1 through 6 option, because LeBron and AD are going to be the number 1 option, but you got to keep in mind here, Dennis Schroeder led the team tonight in points. That's only because he's Dennis Schroeder. That's only because you got all these guys focused on LeBron and AD, right? You got Dennis Schroeder coming in the lane at 6'1", and you got AD on the right side, and you got LeBron kicking out for 3 on the left, and you got KCP behind you, and it's like, okay, well, I can take this wide open layup, or you can come over and get me. I'll just scoop it off to one of those guys, or I'll leave it to AD. And it's like every single night you're going up against really good point guards. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, Kemba Walker, Damian Lillard. But then you're going up with Dennis Schroeder, and you're thinking, oh my God, thank God I got a night off. I got Dennis Schroeder. Woo. Nah, this guy was going to blow past you. So watch out, man. We got to extend this fool right now. Kuzma, 6 for 11. I have Kuzma's on my fantasy. I picked him up and dropped him like once or twice this year. Kuzma, 6 for 11, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Really a nice job by Kuzma. He's getting more boards lately, which I like. He's more active in the paint, especially on the offensive glass. Montrez played really well, 17 points. He had 8 rebounds. Shot 7 for 8 from the field. Played really well. And then nobody else really that significant. Caruso, 7 points, 4 assists. Wes Matthews, 3 points. Markieff Morris, 1 point. Okay, so that is the stats. I guess we can go to the team stats really, really fast. Points, yeah, you obviously know the score, 115, 113. Rebounds, we out-rebounded them by 18, 50-32. Crazy. We assist, we get out-assisted. Warriors at 31, Lakers at 23. Warriors at 8 steals, Lakers 6 steals, 3 blocks for the Warriors, 5 blocks for the Lakers, 16 big turnovers for us. Field goal percentage nearly identical at 50, 48, and 50. 3-point, both teams shot 31, 32%. And free throw, both teams were about 72, 73, 74%. Points in the paint, nearly identical. 58 for the Lakers, 56 for the Warriors. Second chance points, 11 for the Warriors, 18 for the Lakers. And then fast break points, 9 for the Warriors, 4 for the Lakers. I don't know how fast break points are defined, but yeah, we did not have 4. We had way more. Is fast break a steal, or is fast break getting a rebound and tossing it down the floor? Do you consider fast break a score, and then you take it out of bounds and you chuck it down the floor to LeBron James within half a second on a fast break and you score? I don't know. But yeah, those are the team stats. I want to talk about the fans real fast. I don't get this fans thing. I'm really confused. They said 6 teams of 30 are going to have fans, but somehow, like, Adam Silver day one, like, takes a stance. Says, yo, we're going to have some fans. And it's up to the 6 stadiums that want it. But let me tell you, Adam Silver is like, those fans are going to be 30 feet or farther away from the players. So then I go watch the Lakers and the Rockets. And the Lakers are the Rockets back-to-back. And that Rockets-Lakers back-to-back series is going to go down in infamy, a documentary, who knows. Because of the last 2 games that James Harden played in a Rockets uniform. And let me tell you something. Those fans were courtside. And those fans were seated in twos, right? So it was a couple and then like 6 feet apart. Those fans were like literally courtside, like 6 feet away from the players when they were taken out of bounds or something like that. That was outrageous to watch. I was personally worried. No, I was like genuinely like upset. Why are those fans so close to my quote unquote my players? Like, yo, get those fans 30 feet back or out of the gym. Why are they 6 feet from my guys, 5 feet from my guys when he's taken out of bounds? I understand they're wearing a mask, but yo, did you really take a metal detector? I'm sorry, did you really like take a freaking like... There is no way that the Green Bay Packers, when they played the frickin' Rams, did a thermometer test, a real fast scan, and all 10,000 fans that entered the frickin' stadium. You think the Rockets did that? Yo, no. And if they did, good for them. But Adam Silver said 30. These fools are sitting 6. I'm pissed off. That pissed me off, and they better change that. Regarding fans in the future, I don't know, but that was my 2 cents on the fans concerning the Lakers. Because the Lakers, obviously, we live in Los Angeles, all right? Los Angeles is very liberal, and really what that means is we don't want to die. We're trying to be safe, okay? And the fact that other teams are not being safe, that's their prerogative. But don't be lying to us, Adam Silver, about that. And then if you are lying to us, what the hell? And if you're not, you got to reprimand the Rockets for that stuff. So, all right. I'm sorry. I've only done like 5 podcasts, and there's been like, I don't know, 15 games. I'm sorry. That is not me. I am going to do better. I have to do better. So, thank you guys for listening. Once again, this is Charles Ryan, KB24 status, or yours truly, the biggest Lakers fan in the world. I will never stop posting for you guys. Please check out my other videos. I really work hard on them. I really enjoy doing them, and I love it when you guys comment. I got some videos that have over 500,000 views. I got some videos that have 20 views. I don't care. The point is I put the effort in, and I love you guys. I love you guys that actually interact with them. The podcast, probably 1% of them have comments, and of those comments, maybe half of them are from my idiot friends who think it's funny to comment on them. But no, let's get some more interaction. But love it. Let's keep engaging. See you next time. Lakers 7-game road trip. I'm going to cover every single game of this road trip, period. Even the back-to-back. If I don't do that, I want you guys to hold me accountable. By holding accountable, I mean message me or comment. And that's probably not going to happen anyways, but I'm going to try. The holding me accountable might not happen anyways because you guys don't comment. But I am going to do the 7-game thing for sure. For sure. Thank you so much for listening. Take care. If you listened to the whole 40 minutes so far, you deserve a medal. Between you and me, the person who's listened to minute 41, I'm recording this at 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning, so 8 hours after the game. So between you and me, the one or maybe 100 people that listen at minute 41, I'm fucking exhausted. Those tangents are me doing tired tangents of maybe not non-sequiturs, but just me wanting to air my grievances. So sorry to keep stretching this out. Thanks for listening. Take care. Go Lakers. And let's get this win versus the Bucks on Thursday. Peace.